Ooh, this just switched to another video. Interesting. Okay. And again, I've got plenty of room and stuff, so here we go. So this will be broken up to 2 different groups, or maybe it may have gone to a third and I just didn't notice it. But either way, I'll list the information below down in the descriptions. So the Ace of Summer, we were just discussing, the Ace is the number 1. It's at the beginning of things. So if you were drawn to this, group, it's also, summer is like swords in the tarot. This is the fairy tarot, which is, swords are all about, being in your head or thinking. Maybe you're not thinking enough, or maybe you're overthinking something, but it also has to do with air signs. So maybe you're an air sign, or the person that you're dealing with is an air sign, but open your heart to love. The beginning of a new intimate relationship, or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. So we've been talking about hawk medicine. We've been dealing with the high priestess. We've been talking about the amethyst. So I'm going to take these cards away because I feel like we're going into a different reading. So, let's just take behind what we need, leave behind what we don't, right? Ooh, this one, these two flew at me one by one from the Making Magic deck. Healing, true healing of the mind, body, and soul. And the sun, the golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. So for some of you, you need to work with the sun energy. I'm going to bring this over here. A sweet little unicorn. Move this over a little bit. Right? So we're going to leave them there. Even though we started with the Ace of Summer, I'm going to kind of leave them there as our mascot. Oh, I love this card. I loved it when I pulled it. I just love, look how beautiful she is too. I just love her face. I want you to get a good look at this card. And before we even read this card, coming to life, look at that. I felt Reiki right out the gate, right? Because she's, like when we're working with Reiki, right? Our hands get hot. That's where the magic is. But also, like, do you see that? There's like a glow like on her. It almost looks like, let me see. It almost looks like fabric or something, but it's not, right? It's like, I don't feel like it. I mean, even if it is, I feel like what I'm getting from that is like healing energy, as if like, she's healing herself. And look at the butterfly down here. Like it's got magic all around it too. Like it just turned into a butterfly. And 29 is like the end of that cycle, right? Because the next number would be 30. So that would be the beginning of like the next, set of numbers, decade, whatever you'd even want to call it. So, and the number 29 might mean something to some of you guys. I'm going to read this card because I feel really drawn to. So I'm going to bring her over here. I'm going to move this. Hold on, guys. Move this over here. Look at that. All right. And this one wanted to go up there. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that's from the Enchanted Map Oracle. Number 29. These have upright and reverse meanings, and sometimes I'm called to read both and sometimes I'm not. This one I am. So I'm going to read the reversed first, but the title of this card is Something Beautiful is Being Born in Your Life. But the reverse says the Coming to Life card is a gentle reminder to get out of your own way, to let go and let spirit lead. New life is unstable in the beginning and needs gentle care. Farmers don't go into their fields and pull up the shoots of plants to see how they're doing. They know that everything has its own cycle of growth. Let nature take its course. Find other things to focus on right now. Simplicity and small steps are the order of the day. When the time is right, you will see the miracle. Oh, I know that. Oh, I just realized we weren't showing her. Speaking of miracle, we weren't showing her. Okay, here, let's do this and do this. There we go. So it says in the upright position, when you look at your life, can you see how you've grown and evolved over time? Perhaps you've shed skins and identities and created new ones, or at the very least matured in your ideas about yourself and the world you inhabit. You know things take time, and Spirit's timetable is rarely in sync with your own. This card indicates that a long-held dream is beginning to show signs of life. You must try not to coax it along or shape it according to your desires. Spirit knows the best form for the manifestation of this dream, and your life can become even better than you can possibly imagine. Now is the time for reverence and awe. Allow the contours of your path to be carved by the hands of the divine. All you have to do is show up. I love that, right? I know I've been doing it too. I've been forcing a lot of things lately because I'm so ready to move on. Like, but even if I think I'm ready to move on, Spirit keeps reminding me that I'm not, right? Because I haven't finished healing. I'm still in the karmic stages of healing. We're still in the karmic stages. And if you're just tuning into this reading, this is the forecast for May 24th through May 31st, 2020. But, they're timeless. So maybe you're seeing this a year from now. Who knows? But either way, it's like, the healing of the mind, body, and soul. It's like we can talk a big game of healing, but are we actually healing? The sun wants to go on the citrine. I'm like, of course it does. I feel like it has its own mind today. Okay. There we go. So, where are you placing your focus right now? If things aren't going the way you want them to, you have to find something to, I've been trying to do that too. I mean, clearly I had to give myself an injury to take my mind off of it and have me focus on the things I needed to focus on. So this message says, now this is from the Mona Lisa Mind Body Makeover cards. So one side will say what you're thinking, and then the other side will tell you what your higher self is trying to tell you. So maybe your mind is saying, I tend to have accidents or other life-threatening health problems, right? I was just talking about my injury. How funny. But on the flip side, it says, I know what my purpose in life is. My faith in a higher power gives my life meaning and purpose. Healthy body, number 7. Number 7 came up in this reading a lot. I know what my purpose in life is. My faith in a higher power gives my life meaning and purpose. And I feel like that's what they're trying to say. Like, if you don't know what your purpose is, then just give all of your, don't give your power away to the humans. Give your, surrender to the divine and say, I don't know what my purpose is, but I know that my main purpose in life is to serve, you and the collective, meaning you, your higher self and the collective. So, let Spirit reveal to you what it is. And maybe for some of you, it's this Reiki energy. I've been, oops, sorry guys. I've been feeling that really strongly since I pulled this card, that this feels like Reiki. So for some of you, maybe that's what Spirit's trying to tell you, is to focus on your Reiki. I was feeling partnership earlier, but I don't know if we pulled any partnership cards. We'll see what comes up. Let's see if there's any clarifiers with this. Oh my Lord. So we'll go through these first. Oh, we've pulled this one before. And of course I mastered how to say it, and now I can't think how to say it. I think it's Charoite. Charoite. Here. We can take these down now. Let's see if you can get a better view of that. And we are definitely going to read the crystal cards because that one I'm not that familiar with, and I don't want to, I want to say what Spirit has to say. This is all about acceptance, generosity, clarity, and inner vision. The Charoite is a highly spiritual crystal that helps awaken higher wisdom. You are being asked to accept the current events and bring your focus within. All will become clear through meditation. This is a time for reflection and contemplation, a time to allow your inner wisdom to guide you. You will realize that there is nothing you need to change and that all is as it should be. Trust. Even though the current flow of events is confusing, there is a divine order to the madness. It is only through love and acceptance that the divine order can be seen. You will be touched by someone's generosity in the next few days. Oh, that's awesome. In my meditation this morning, I heard in 3 days we were going to have a breakthrough, that I was going to have a breakthrough with some of the things that I've been meditating on and hoping for. So for me, I was like, that's an interesting clarifier. So Spirit wants us to be open to the mystery. Be open to the mystery of life. That looks like a node, doesn't it? Do you see that? I forget if that's the north or the south node. I'll have to look it up. But look at that. Look at that path. Like, you can't really see where it's going to end up, but you do see like that there's light there. So it's like, is it going to take you to another part of the forest? Is it going, to take you to water? It's like, we don't know. Oh, and look, it's the number 52. The number 7 has been coming up a lot. So look up the number 7. Number 7 is my life path number. So I've been feeling the 7's a lot for myself lately, but that's really interesting. So be open to the mystery of life. Be open to, like, what this card was just talking about. Look at this. The Philosopher's Stone, powerful manifestation of wishes and goals by harnessing universal energy. So for some of you, I'm hearing like, yeah, it's time for you to like really like amp up your witchy stuff. I feel like these symbols and the stuff that are in these cards, like I said it in the other video, like I don't feel drawn to it, even though I know I'm a natural witch. I don't feel drawn to like symbology and some symbolism like other people are. That doesn't mean I won't. I might become some wild ass witch someday, but for some of you, that I feel like that means something. So hold on to that. Hold on to like whatever that means to you, or whatever you're feeling. And look it up. This is the Making Magic deck, so if you're drawn to it. And she has the Priestess Moon. She has a really cool Instagram page, the woman who makes these, I think she goes by she, deck. Okay, and next, the Carnelian. The Carnelian. Carnelians are all about healing, you guys. Well, not all about, but the Carnelians are definitely... and also about wealth. Let's see what this has to say. Healing, creativity, energy, calmness, grounding, and stability. This wonderful crystal offers you protection and healing. It will help dissolve the sadness you have recently experienced, as well as calm your thoughts and ease any anxiety. Carnelian will also help you express your emotions and stimulate your creativity. You're encouraged to take up a creative pursuit or hobby at this time. Start to express yourself in whatever way you choose, and without judgment. Working with color will be especially helpful at the moment, for color can also help to stabilize and heal your emotions. Over the coming days, you will begin to feel a renewed sense of peace, joy, and wonderment for life. Give thanks for the wondrous blessings you are receiving. I'll tell you, I had to go to the dollar store for something, and Spirit pulled me to look at books. And I ended up getting 3 really cool mandala coloring books from the dollar store. And they have really been helping me just to like to soothe my energy, like just to kind of give me some clarity and insight. Like, it's been great. So I highly recommend it. Also at the dollar store is crayons and markers and colored pens, like whatever you need. They have gel pens, like, so I don't want to hear any like, I know that the dollar store is not ideal. Okay. I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, for some of us, if I had the money, it wouldn't even be an issue. I would constantly be using things from, whatever, but it's like, this is where I'm at right now. So wherever you are right now, don't judge it. Just try and be where you are. Look at this. And ride the wave. Oh, I love this card. Number 14, which is also the number 5, which we pulled up 5 in our other reading. And then at the beginning, at the very first group, we had the 555. So 5s are all about change, right? Riding the waves of change. And can you see this? I'm going to see if I could pull this in closer because I really want you to see. Do you see the fairy on there? Do you see the sweet little fairy on the dolphins? Ride the waves of change. Oh, it's such a great card. I'm not going to read this card because I feel like it really expresses exactly what we've been talking about in the reading, about going with the flow and being gentle with yourself. I am hearing, though, to look up dolphin spirit animal. So look up dolphin spirit animal if you feel called to do so. So ride the wave. Oh, look at that. And death. The death card, which it's interesting because I don't have my glasses on, but when I saw this rock, I automatically saw a whale. And I don't know if you're from the Northwest, if you saw that a huge gray whale showed up dead. I don't know if it was in Seattle, but anyway, it showed up on the beaches. No, I think it was Whidbey Island or something. But they're going to take it and, do an autopsy and all that and find out how it died. But that's what, it's so interesting when I saw that. I saw a whale and I thought a whale. But you know, death isn't bad, right? Because it's number 46, but 46 is also the number 10, which is about completion. And you know, a lot of times when people pull the death card, they're like, oh no, I don't want the death card. I'm like, oh no, you do actually, because death is all about rebirth. You know, everything dies. We all die. Everything here dies. Like nothing, the only things that, you know, I don't even know if you could say like, you know, plastic lives forever or certain things live forever, because eventually over time it would disintegrate, and it's not a living thing. But you know, hear what I'm saying? It's like we all die. It's all part of the cycle. It's all part of this, the circle of life. You know what I mean? Like it's all part of it. So, you know, death is a good thing. And with every breath I take, I'm getting healthier and healthier, right? So we just talked about death, and now we're talking about life. And it's also, I'm hearing the karmic death. You know, we talked about that in the other video. You know, there's a lot of karmic death that's happening. Look at this. My body is a mirror of my inner thoughts and beliefs. I nourish it with good foods and healthy exercise. Yeah, body positive is really important right now. There's so many people who, I know for myself, I've gained so much weight over this, you know, quarantine. It's okay. You know, it's about being healthy. It's about eating healthy and taking care of yourself as best as you can. So I'm going to leave that there. Let's see. What else do we have going here? Oh, another message from the fairies. Oh, this is the Hermit. Number 9. Number 9. Hold on, let me get this in focus. Ooh, find or be your mentor. Take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. You know, I felt this too. I think I'm going to take another break from Instagram. You know, I love it in some ways, but I just really don't in others. And I think until I think it's good for me to go on and go off and go on and go off. So if you can, you know, take a break from social media, take a break from the news. You know, obviously at this point, your kids aren't going back to school. You know, I mean, you know, your boss is going to tell you whether you're going back to work or not. You know, step away from the news. If you feel like you need to look at the news, then just look at it once a day. You know, try not to look at it in the morning when like you're in the time of like how your day is going to go, and try not to look at it at night, because I was doing that. I was looking at it in the morning and looking at it at night, and I thought this is the worst way, because why would I want to see what the news is the first thing, and why would I want to see the news the last thing before I go to bed? You know, so you know, wake up, meditate, play with your kids, do something fun, go for a walk. You know, if you have to go to work, that's fine, but do something for yourself before you go to work. And then at the end of the day, you know, take breaks, but maybe in the middle of the day. Maybe in the middle of the day, you know, when you know you're going to have other things going on, happier things, you want to take a look at the news. Because I understand, I get it. We're changing 135.19. We're changing so much so quickly. So I understand that, but just don't get too wrapped up in it, okay? You know, and the Hermit is good in a way because it helps you to retreat, to find that, you know, that inner spiritual growth that you need to work on. But I'm also hearing, don't be too much of a hermit that you're like closing yourself off and you're like falling down some rabbit hole, you know, spiral of like depression or whatever. Does that make sense? So, you know, and also for some of you, maybe to take your mind off of things, be a mentor for somebody else. You know, maybe it's not about the money. I have a group of my tribe members that they don't have a lot of money, but I still work with them when I can. You know, it's like that's my way of like giving back. That's my way of being a mentor pro bono, because the ones that can afford to pay me, you know, pay me, right? So maybe it's time for you to be that mentor for somebody else. Maybe you've been in a time of like a spiritual growth and you've been the hermit and you're ready to like branch out now. 136.18. You know, whatever that is. Whatever this card means to you, okay? But, you know, also it's the number 9, which is, you know, building up to a completion of something, like you're almost there. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Like maybe you're like, but I've been a hermit and I've been doing, they're like, yeah, but are you lying to yourself a little bit? Are you, you know, kind of looking at things maybe you shouldn't be? So keep that in mind too. You know, we could be our own worst enemy sometimes. I know that's hard to hear, but it's true. Ooh, I'm hearing this one. Oh, abracadabra with wings. Oh, look at this. Fantastic good fortune and lucky chances, right? So I'm hearing, for some of you, when they were talking about going inward with the hermit, start playing with magic. You know, be mindful. You know, always set the intention with magic of good. Don't put any spells on anybody. Don't, you know, we're talking about karma, right? So don't be putting any shit out there you don't want coming back to you, because that's exactly what will happen. We are a collective. We are one. So if you try to fuck somebody over, you try to screw somebody over, you put some magic and hex on them or whatever, you better be prepared for what's going to come back to you. And if you think that you are oblivious to that energy, think again, because it will. None of us are above one another. You may be in a different level of your awareness, of your consciousness and your journey, but that does not mean that karma, if you put out bad things in the world, that it won't come back to you, okay? But look at this, abracadabra with wings. What I get from this card is like use your magic for good, right? Like be the flitty fairy, like fly around with your magic and you know, give it to people, and without them even knowing that you're giving them the magic. You know, like maybe you're somebody who's like putting things out there and, you know, they don't even know it, but like you're like, oh, let me give you a hug. But when you hug them, you're like giving them like good energy. You're sending good energy into their orbit. Maybe you run across somebody who's struggling, and then, you know, you don't say, you know, sometimes I'll say to somebody, you know, like, what's your parents' name or whatever, I'll pray for them. That's fine. But sometimes it's just like, you don't even need to tell somebody, you know, you don't need to make a big thing like, oh, look at this thing I did for somebody. Like, no, just do something for somebody without getting anything in return, and do something for somebody without anybody knowing about it. That's actually one of my favorite things to do. And I'll tell you, when I do those things is when the things come back to me the most. So look at this, gold with quartz. Ah, I love, love, love this one. I'm going to read it to you because it's one of my favorite ones, and it's so pretty. Because gold is amazing, but physically grounding abstract ideas and inspirations. Several wonderful ideas and inspirations are filtering through into your physical reality. These ideas and inspirations, which stem from your soul, will help you manifest many of the things your heart has for so long desired. Over the coming days, your intuition will be strong, and you will have a greater sense of the universal spirit that flows through all things. Through this, a newfound sense of joy and wonder emerges, one which transforms your life. Give thanks for this blessing and allow it to inspire and illuminate your heart and mind. Your ideas and inspirations are divinely guided, so trust them. Yes, you guys, quartz is a great amplifier, and gold is a great, like pyrite, things like that, like, and gold itself, like, are a good representation of wealth. And we got that in our first group. Where's that card? If it shows itself, it'll be meant to be seen. But yeah, I mean, quartz are an amazing amplifier. So even if you have gold, like even having like maybe a gold necklace with quartz on it would like be really powerful to work with. Also, I forgive all past experiences. It's time for you to forgive yourself and others. Just forgive it. It's so much easier to forgive than to like resent, hate, whatever. You know, it's that old Asian proverb, you know, it's like drinking the poison yourself and expecting the other person to die. Well, if you forgive people genuinely, then all of that darkness inside of you releases. And it says, I accept all that I have created for myself, my past and my present. I am willing to allow my future to happen. Yeah, right? This is tied into this too, the powerful manifestation of wishes and goals by harnessing universal energy. These cards kind of go hand in hand, right? You're allowing it to happen. Allow the gold, allow the money to come into your life, allow the changes to come into your life, allow the death to happen, allow all of these things to happen so that you can, you know, finally breathe. I'm hearing for some of you, it's like, you know, it's time to just breathe, 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 breathe. For some of you, do you find yourself like you're like, oh my gosh, I stopped breathing for a minute? I used to do that. I still catch myself sometimes, but I used to be really bad about it. And then I'd be like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not breathing, because I'm like not even present. I'm like floating off into the you know, wild yonder. So I am good enough. Write it on a post-it. Keep saying it over and over. Write it in your notebook right now if you're taking notes. I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. There is no need to struggle to be better. All I need to do is love myself more today than yesterday and treat myself as someone who is deeply loved. Because you are deeply loved. That's what Spirit wants us to know. Like, we are deeply loved. They're always, always looking out for us all the time, even if it doesn't feel like it. Because I'll tell you, When I had my injury last week, I was screaming horrible, 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 horrible things to my spirit guides and everyone. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, it hurts so bad. I'm like, you know, because I haven't had an injury like that in a really long time, and I haven't struggled. My pancreatitis, like, I haven't had like certain things happen for a long time. So what was I doing? I was angry at them. But why am I angry at them? I'm the one that pulled it, and it just happened. But it's because I wasn't focusing. I wasn't grounding. I wasn't taking care of myself. You know, it's like I do, then I don't, then I do, then I don't. And so spirit is like, okay, well, we're going to make you do it. Whether you want to do it or not, now they're like, now we're going to make you do it. So look at the next card. I love it. Look at that love. We were just talking about love, right? Loving yourself and loving others, forgiving yourself and forgiving others is the number 45, which is also the number 9. Love. I just rewatched Moulin Rouge the other day because I have like nothing to watch, and I forget how beautiful it is, and how, you know, if you get a chance, watch Moulin Rouge. It's such a beautiful story and a beautiful metaphor for love, hate, jealousy, anger. You know, it's like, it's just a really great story, and all the music in it, and I absolutely love the actors in it. It's just really beautiful. So watch Moulin Rouge. This card says, this marker reminds you to show kindness and compassion to all whom you meet on your path, be it a beggar on a street corner, a coworker, a family member, an animal, or a plant whose leaves need pruning. This marker asks you to shift perception from yourself as a solitary person on the earth to one who's part of a living system. Love is what made you, so keep it flowing. Remember to receive love as well. Ask yourself, am I blocking love? This marker reminds you that you're as connected to all of life as it is to you, and that you're responsible to be the steward of the love of the god/goddess. Love is without conditions. It is respectful, mindful, sees all life as sacred, and acts in accordance. Love reminds you that this very planet is a living being. Love is the very essence of the divine in you, and it sees the divine in others. This is the time to see through the eyes of love, and always ask before you act, what would love do? The answer will always bring you extraordinary power. This marker is a very fortunate and transformative omen. Screenshot this. I think this is important for us to screenshot that. So pause it. I'm sorry about my little boy hands. Oh, biting my nails is a bad one for me, but I've gotten much better. But while I was down for the count, oh, nervous energy, right? So yeah. We need to ask ourselves, what would love do? What would love do? What would love do? Am I blocking love? Look at the top of that. Am I blocking love? And what would love do? You know, that's a hard one. Loving ourselves is a lot harder than we give it credit for. The next one is the number 7. Oh, come on, you guys, right? The Chariot. This is the Fairy Tarot. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments and being in the spotlight. Yeah, look at how happy those dragonflies are. Look at their cute little faces. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Look how cute their faces are. They're like so happy, and look at the magic above them. Well, at least they look like smiley faces to me. It's hard for me to see that, but look at how happy that person is. She looks like Rita Hayworth. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, right? So, you know, it's like Cher used to always say, one of Cher's famous sayings in the 80s was, if it came in a bottle, everybody would have a good body. It's like, yeah, if you want a good body, you're going to have to work at it. If you want to, you know, look good, you're going to have to work at it. You can't, you know, some of us are natural, quote unquote, natural beauties, and some of us aren't. And we're all beautiful, right? It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, like, what's beautiful to you? Like, what do you see? What makes you happy about yourself? You know, like, that's what I feel like this card is like trying to say. Look at this. I open myself to all good. I open myself to all good. I receive life's gifts with joy and pleasure and gratitude. I love that. That's beautiful. I feel like this wants to just go down. And I also feel like I'm speeding up for some reason. Maybe I'm not running out of room, but maybe it's going to another reading. Look at this. The King. Messages of Avalon. Man, authority, male, sexual energy. Things pertaining to the law and justice, number 3. I feel like this is specific, to be honest with you. I feel like even though maybe to you this goes with this, but to me, I'm like, I don't understand this card right now. Maybe I will in the next cards, but I feel like for some of you, maybe if this is a yes or no question, or if it's, the only thing I'm really getting is like, you don't have to be a man to be the man, meaning like the man, like the system, like you don't have to be it's like it's more about the like the male sexual energy, like it says on there. It's like more of like the masculine energy. So maybe for some of you, you need to pull out your king, and this may be for a specific man. Like there may be a man watching this that, or a male identified energy that is really feeling like triggered and connected to this card. But I'm also feeling like it needs to go next to the love card and the chariot. So maybe with the chariot, when they're talking about dedication and discipline, maybe it's dedication to your relationship or dedication to yourself and celebrating your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. But I feel like this is very specific. So if this, I'm curious if this card calls to you, or if you're feeling a connection to this card, look on the bottom. I'm not feeling anything right away, or my fellow readers, whatever you got from it. Number 28, we got this one too. This one's all about movement. Movement. And right, we were just talking about this other card about feeling good about yourself. And maybe that's the whole point. Like you feel like the king on the inside, but like you're not like doing the work. You know, you're not doing the work and the commitment. Where was that one card? You hear what I'm saying? So now the movement is coming in. Hold on one second. Okay. So the movement says you're in a time of positive forward motion. The upright position says this is a time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. See what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like this is about movement, or it says movement, but that's what I was feeling too. It's like there's something like connected with this with change. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come up. So when it said change your hair, I was like, okay, so you may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't the time to fear. Let it go and move forward. In the reverse position, it says, do you feel as if you're walking in circles, seemingly not getting anywhere? Consider the spiral that travels up and around. 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Even backward movement helps you progress and reach your goal, right? Yeah, because even when you go backwards, you still, like, you see something from a different vantage point, right? Like we just saw the card that way. Now we see it. It's like, no matter how many times, look at this windmill on here. It's like movement changes, like teeny little windmill on his back. Right? But it's like, even when we go backwards, we see things differently. We see some things sometimes for the first time, the way it was meant to be seen, right? Like sometimes we don't like 100% see it for what it is. And then we'll like go back and be like, oh, okay, I forgot to pick up that piece of that puzzle, right? So regardless, you can't remain where you are, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So no matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take. Okay, we moved on from that. Okay. I heard we moved on from that. You need to revisit some of the places where you forgot to look for treasure. Another message in this is lessons need repeating for those who refuse or are unable to learn them from the first time. Consider this another invitation to mastery. That's powerful, right? Like they're saying like, instead of looking at it as a negative thing, they're like, no, it's like you're just learning more about yourself or more about the situation so that you can become a master of like whatever that is you're trying to, that information that you're trying to gain. So the ghost lands, this is one of my other cards that I have such an attachment to this card because I feel like it says a lot for a lot of us. The ghost lands, and that's 17, which is also the number 8. And I'm going to read that one as well because I heard to read the reversed first. Well, the title is, you can learn from the past and imagine a beautiful future, but you must live in the here and now. Reverse says, when the Ghostland cards appears reverse, it's a sign that you're wandering in an emotional or intellectual place with no real substance. There's no point longing for that which has already gone or hasn't happened yet. Perhaps you've created a fantasy of the good old days or some elusive utopian destination that lies somewhere in the future when this or that happens to make things better. Live one day at a time. Each day is a new beginning filled with truth and beauty. Stay away from the ghostlands of past and future. Avoid nostalgia and longing for something better. Find joy in what is present in your life today. I know for myself, this one has been really hard because like I'm ready to go. Like I'm just like I'm so ready to go, and I've been like so angry about it, and I feel like I wasn't though, like having to be, you know, under the weather or whatever you want to call it. Lately I've been having a hard time, hold on one second. Sorry, I had to take a break for a second. But what I was going to say in my own respect for the Ghostlands card is that I caught myself many times in the last week saying I would be happier. I just know I'm going to be happier in our new house. I just know I'm going to be happier in our new place. I just know that things are going to be better. Now, I do know that, but I'm also like, do you see what I mean? It's like I'm stopping myself from like being present right now to like, this is where I am. And it doesn't matter if I feel like I've evolved past it. If I were meant to have it right now, I would. And, like Ed's going through a lot of his own stuff right now. And like, he's trying to like, kind of tie up loose ends in his life in certain areas. And I know that that's going to be another few weeks, at least one more week. But possibly a few more weeks because of, the lockdown. Things have like shifted and changed. And, so it's like I can get angry all day long, or I could just be like, okay, this is just the way it is. I guess I have to do this one more time, or I guess I have to do this, but it's okay to get frustrated during it. I'm not asking you to be all kumbaya because that doesn't help either. It's like you have to be realistic about it. But you will be a happier person if you choose not to live in the ghost lands of your emotions, right? Like if you choose to like not be like wrapped up in something that hasn't happened yet, because all I can do in the meantime is manifest and put the things out there every time I'm like, oh, I want this, or oh, that'll be better, or, and I'm still growing and evolving and changing. And do you hear what I'm saying? So in the upright position, it says, whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you run the risk of losing your footing. For rarely do the present and future match up exactly on the enchanted map that is your life story. The future has no substance right now. It is a place that has no grounding as of yet. You can't live there, yet you can take measured steps toward a goal or a dream. These steps are important now. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember beautiful moments or revisit lessons learned. However, you can't live there. Nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday is gone forever. Live fully in the present. In the now is the most powerful place to put your attention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, further than the heart and soul can see. Yeah, that's powerful. That's really powerful. Oh, this one like flew out at me. Oh, the smoky quartz. Ooh, that's pretty. I feel like these all need to, you've seen enough of that. Smoky quartz wants to be front and center. Smoky quartz. Let's see what the, ooh, look at that cool. Do you see how cool that visual looks right now? I feel like I need to take a screenshot. That's pretty. Okay. We're dwindling. We're getting there, you guys. 1:55:33. Woo! Almost 2 hours. Holy crap. No wonder why I'm so tired. Okay, smoky quartz. Smoky quartz. It's all about emotional blockage, negative thoughts, release, grounding, and protection. This beautiful smoky quartz crystal has appeared in your reading today to help you to release and express the many emotions that you have kept suppressed for quite some time. There's no emotional cause to all physical symptoms, so know that by acknowledging and expressing how you feel, you allow healing to occur. Do not be afraid to cry, for your tears will wash away your sadness and restore your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. There is a jewel to be found in every teardrop. Trust, exclamation point. This card signifies that healing is occurring right now, exclamation point. I love it.